An American mafioso is cell neighbors with Pocha, a Brooklyn mafioso, at the ADX Supermax in Colorado. His name is James Sabatino and is in prison for stealing millions of dollars in jewelry. For many jewelers, under the cover, the disguise that he had a record label, he would borrow jewelry for music videos and artist appearance and shows and stuff and not return it. Safe to say he didn't have a record label. He probably did though, because the mob always been in the mix of the entertainment business. Again, maybe he was a Gambino affiliate, right? But we also know that, hey man, if he's if a guy talked to a guy that talked to a guy who's connected with some guys, well, they considered that guy in the media and in the courts a member or a person of importance, or maybe he was just bottom of the barrel thief connected to some people in the mob. What do we know? He says that he's been on that cell block for 5 years. We've been in cells by ourselves, sequestered from all other prisoners for 5 years, with 2 hours of out of cell time, just to get sun and to exercise. The communication, though it's breaking the rules, they became friends. They were in cells next to each other. He said people used to communicate through the prison, or people communicate through that prison, banging on walls, yelling through vents, yelling cell to cell. And even though Poacher doesn't speak English and dude has little knowledge of Spanish, they communicate and created a friendship. Now let me show you this guy right here. Whenever you see that guy in the hip hop world, that guy, he might got a bunch of fat skeletons in his closet. This guy right here. Look at him. There's always been that guy. That guy always exists. Sometimes that guy becomes an executive. That's a problem. All right, shout out Method Man, but that's the problem when you got these guys around. You end up picturing Method Man's like, man, I don't know that dude. I just took a picture with him. What the fuck? Look, this dude right here, yeah, got the bottles and the shades. Woo! That guy right there, always got that guy right there, he get you every time. He looked like he's wearing a Rockefeller chain. He said that the communication between them was difficult. That situation motivated Sabatino to write a letter to ask to be able to live with Pocha. What? I thought they don't do cellies in ADX. Hit the like button if you have yet to do so. He want to move next door with the homie. Well, if y'all can't speak through the fucking door, what y'all gonna do when you get in the cell together, huh? Look at this guy. He thinks he's doing it right here. He thinks that this woman right here, well, he wants you to think that with the picture, but he wants you to think that this woman right here is swooning over him, all right? With his Rockefeller chain. He got a Rockefeller chain. Where he get that? He's a Brooklyn guy. Jay, you gave him that? He got 2 Rockefeller chains. Huh. We're going to have to look for his connection to Rockefeller. He said the message was sent to a tribunal in the United States through various lawyers. And over the last 5 years, I've gotten to know Pocha. And I can say that I am worried about his mental health. It's deteriorating. He said in the last year his mental health is deteriorated. And I can say that I'm worried about it. He said since we're already in an extreme isolation where we can't contact anyone outside, this would destroy anyone. He's completely isolated the way I am. Do they know each other? Shout out Kenny on the check-in. No, they don't know each other. They just sell neighbors. They just wake up in the morning and he'd be like, amigo, and the other guy be like, hey, chaps, how you doing? What's going on? You know? And that's it. They just sell neighbors that don't understand each other from one side of the wall to the other. He says he's completely isolated, as am I, but in the last year he's tried to talk to COs, but they don't speak Spanish either. I doubt that. It's a motherfucker in there that speaks Spanish somewhere. That language barrier causes him not to know what the government is doing, as far as his life goes. So he's asking for an act of humanity for Pocha. And he can't talk to a lawyer. He can't talk to nobody. They got him hushed. He wants them to be able to have recreational time together. He wants them to, I guess, be able to walk the cage together, 2 separate cages, but where they can see and talk to each other. What they're basically asking for is for them to be able to walk and talk. They're humans. They could be people with defects or I don't know. They could be fuck ups, right? But they're human. I don't know, man. There's a lot of people Poacher didn't treat like a human, man. He treated them subhuman. He treated them like they were less than human. Some may be deserving, some maybe not so much. You can't talk to nobody outside except with your lawyers and two family members 2 times a month for 15 minutes. All of the calls are monitored by the FBI. Sabatino will be out in 2034, but Chopper got 3 life sentences. The feds consider Sabatino a member of the Gambino crime family. Look at him. Forget about it. Look at him. And that he did a big amount of his scams while he was under federal custody in Miami when he did this shit. So what was he, an informant? Using contraband telephones. No shit. I mean, when you got a guy, you got a guy. Hey, I got a guy. You need a thing? I got a guy. So there's only 4 cells in the block that they're at. Those are probably the 2 that are together, and then the other 2 are probably separated. Now that she's giving me schematics and shit of the prison, like she wants me to build a tunnel or something. Relax, lady.
Oh, too much information and shit.
Fucking information and shit, man.
Bullshit.
The cells got cameras in them and shit. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, surveillance. Where the tapes at? Just in case there's 1 minute that they could cut out of a video in a prison in a cell like that. There's 1 minute. Right? Y'all hear me? You catch what I'm saying? Sometimes there's just 1 minute they have the discrepancy to just snatch out of there. Lights are on 24/7 in the cell. Individual cells, and they don't allow physical contact. The only thing visible from the sun is the sky. I mean, from the cell is the sky. They got microphones and they got cameras. So what do y'all think, man? Why do y'all think Sabatino is lobbying to the judge about coexisting with Poacher? Is this innocent in nature where it's just two guys? And maybe Poacher don't know that this guy wrote the letter. Maybe he didn't write the letter. Maybe this is just a story they want us to talk about. Right? But whatever. Let's say he wrote the letter. What does he want to do, huh? Is it just 2 guys in the ADX that or 1 guy that's like, hey man, there's 2 of us, 1 cell there, 1 cell here, at least let us talk. Well, that goes against what that prison is and why they put y'all in there. Is he using? I mean, he's a con man, right? Is he using the old man's mental health to shoot his shot? Let me see. If the judge says, you know what? I think you guys can benefit from the positive reinforcement that comes with walking the yard together. Or does the judge think they could do something shady? And is that a thing? Maybe they could do something shady. Maybe they're in there colluding rather than just maybe the old man's playing his mental health, huh? Are we seeing some mafia / cartel, movie shit for the future where they plot the great escape with the help of the American mob? That's probably a thing too. What that said. I don't think they're supposed to know who in the next cell. Probably not. He probably gonna get his ass slammed in a building by himself by that judge just because he's writing letters and shit. Talk about how he got to know the old man. You in trouble, man. Straight to jail.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail.
He's doing it for clout, Zach. There's no communication in there between inmates. They say there's not. Maybe the answer is there's not supposed to be. People in prison, they got nothing better to do than to find the seams in the wall. Find the hollowed out where they could yell and how they could hear each other, how they could communicate. Very resourceful when you have no resources. You figure it out. So it's probably not supposed to be. What if they're plotting this amazing thing with the help of the American mob? Or just another story to tell. Another dude taking an attempt at getting moved somewhere else. Or he's sent to take care of the old man. And I mean it in the worst way. Like maybe he's there to get him. Contracted. This is just my imagination running wild. If I was making a movie out of this scenario. It's either the cartel and the mob got together to break out the big guy, or he's there to hit him. Or he's just a nice guy, man, and he wants to be there for the old man in his time of need. Said ADX, there's no double cell, there's single cell only. Yeah. They're not saying that there's double cell. They're saying single cell. Are you saying each unit has a single cell? They're saying they're in separate cells, but they're next to each other. They're the two that are next to each other. And then the other two, I guess, are next to each other. Black and white TV, double door, all concrete. Maybe his mental health is fucked and he's just talking shit to the judge. But as far as they say they communicate one way, shape, or form. With Chapo is they let them out 1 hour a day, but in a cage. And Buddy wants to walk the cage at the same time with him so they could talk. The whole complex is single cell. So why are they saying that they next to each other in separate cells? Everybody's lying. That's why, Sheldon. All these motherfuckers out here lying on the internet. Okay, McDam's going with his imagination too. Salutes. They're trying to break out Pocha and Yoma so Mexico can have a little order instead of the cowboy stuff. Listen here. The only thing that's going to do is have them scrapping against each other. You know what I'm saying? It's wartime. There's no turning back. There's no slowing that shit down. Visits are by phone through glass. I don't know, but Buddy got a plan going on. He wants to be able to walk the yard with Pocha. Listen, these fools is tough guys outside. They all get soft in the joint. As far as in the joint, you're going to do things and hang out and talk to people you thought you wouldn't for the sake of what y'all got going on in there. Could be money, could be whatever. He's probably losing his mind in isolation like that. And, he's trying to use Pocha's mental health to get him in there, to help himself out, get himself somebody to talk to and walk with. They're sending kites. That's the thing. Can they? Are they capable? Are they capable of banging on walls? Are they capable of yelling through vents? I'm sure those things exist. Vents and shit like that. They got to, right? It's solitary, but they still need oxygen and airflow, right? Again, prisoners are extremely resourceful, and I'm pretty sure they find a way to communicate. And if they don't, well, then this guy's whole story goes the way of the dodo bird. Bullshit.
Bullshit.